Welcome to the program, Mr. Karunaratne. Right. First of all, I would like to ask you, you were holding the chairmanship of SEC for about 9 months. How was your period there?
No, actually, I really enjoyed working there because the staff was so very cooperative, enthusiastic and committed. I didn't really realize the time passing. But having said that, then after I finished about 5 months of my tenure, came the pressure, because at my first commission meeting itself, all the directors were asked to give a briefing to the commission as to what progress they have made during the last 6 months.
Yeah.
So then one by one they came and reported. Then when Director Investigations came and said, well, I have nothing to report kind of thing. So then the commission asked, not only me, the commissioners asked, why? I said, no, I have been told not to proceed with any of the investigations. So that time it stunned me. Then I asked the commission whether the commissioners were aware that there was such an order given. So they said, no, not to our knowledge. But anyway, then the director maintained that he had been given such an order or an indication by a former official, not the chairperson, a former official of the former high official of the commission, that to sort of have them frozen. So the commission thought, no, it should not be done, because one of our main objectives as the commission is to make sure that a well-regulated capital market exists in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
So to do that, we have to obviously bring the manipulators or the wrongdoers in the stock market to book. So for that we have to investigate.
Yeah.
So therefore we asked him to restart, so as to say, the investigations. So one by one it was all taken up, and when the investigations are on, only this pressure came. So until then it was superb. I mean, I really loved it.
Do you think our stock market has a level playing field for every investor?
Well, no, because of these manipulations, and the other thing is that because the investors themselves are not really aware of what they are going into when they invest. And some of the, I am not saying all, the great majority of the brokers are very honorable, very honest people, and so are most of the high net worth investors. It is just a few brokers as well as these so-called high net worth investors who manipulate the market and try to make huge profits for themselves at the expense of the innocent, retail, ignorant investors. So therefore, I would say that the playing field is not level, but if you take today's situation, for example, it is much better than what it was in 2009, 10 and in the first part of 2011. And we, because of our work, I think it is becoming more level, at least. The bulldozers have been working and they have leveled the field to some extent.
Then, Mr. Karunaratne, now some say that sometimes the regulator imposed ad hoc regulations, which were the real reason for the present situation in the stock market. What is your view?
Now, since I took over, there had been no ad hoc regulations whatsoever. And I challenge those people who accuse us of bringing in ad hoc regulations to prove so and cite cases. But there may have been such instances in the past. But of course, they were the result of this unusual movement of stocks and the unusual pumping up and getting the stock market to grow at an unbelievable sort of rate that prompted the regulators at that time bring in these ad hoc measures. So I don't blame them at all for doing that.
It means you believe that existing rules are enough to properly regulate the market?
Well, I won't say that. I won't agree if somebody says that it is enough 100%. But we have some regulations, but actually we need more. And and we have to amend the SEC Act, and we are in the process of doing it when this happened, and in fact we have got the new amendments all done. The draft SEC Act, virtually a new act, incorporating all the proposed amendments into the existing one, is ready, and we are doing it with the assistance of the World Bank Legal Division, and they are supposed to come within the next couple of months, and we were to discuss with them and finalize the draft, and then get more teeth, so as to say, and get it approved by the legal draftman, and then present it as a bill to Parliament, and get more powers to have better regulation of the capital market.
Yeah, you said that there's a stock market mafia. What led to say that?
I mean, why should people talk of a mafia if there is everybody talking about a mafia, if there is no mafia? I mean, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, a very small group of, I would say, investors who want to make a quick buck, or who wants to make money fast, and together with their crony brokers have formed a mafia, and they exert great pressure on the mafia, on the stock market, and that is the result of this present situation. But certainly there is a mafia.
Yeah, then Mr. Karunaratne, we saw a few months back, you had a meeting, not only you, the stakeholders in the stock market had a meeting with the president. Thereafter, the finance secretary was asked to coordinate with that. So, but we didn't see any progress thereafter.
I quite agree that all stakeholders must get together to cure the ills of the market. That is, of course, has to be done. But the thing is, when we work together, they must also, all must cooperate. I mean, there is no point in blaming each other.
Right, it means that in a way that you didn't get the enough support from the authorities.
Well, to some extent, yes, because actually the people who appoint us to do a job of work, in my case I was doing a complete and honorary job, without taking any perks from the commission, and they must support us to do our job without fear or favor, and diligently, and that support was lacking, yes, unfortunate.
Right. Then finally, Mr. Karunaratne, what is the way forward for our capital market?
One thing, it has to be now, if somebody says that it is over-regulated, it's a myth, it's a canon, I must say. That it, and as Mr. Koshi Matai, the Sri Lanka representative of IMF, quite rightly had said to the press, that if somebody says that the market is over-regulated, it is laughable, that there is no such thing. And in fact, this is one of the least regulated markets in the region. And we have to have a better regulated market. And also we have the other conditions right for the market to be vibrant. Now, for example, in today's context, if you look at, the interest rates are really high. And when interest rates are high, what happens? A man who has money, now he has a sure way of making money by investing either in treasury bills or putting a fixed deposit in a bank, or if he wants more interest, fixed deposit in a finance company. The risk is minimal. I mean, a finance company crashing is minimal. But whereas in the stock market, he is not guaranteed of a return. And our companies, our corporates have a policy of declaring very low dividends also. So that's another disincentive for people to invest. So all these things must be put right before the capital market to take off. But I'm not saying that it is bad. You know that if you look at today, it's at 5,000 level, the index. And before, just in 2009 also, before the unusual or artificial pumping up took place, it was around 5,000. Then only it almost went up to 8,000 within a period of 6 months. So it had come down to the right level. It has found its correct level. So it can only now go up. I don't think it will come down. And the plus point is, even when the market was booming and they were saying the best performing capital market in the world in 2009, 2010 and in the first half of 2011, there was net foreign outflow from the market. Now last year it was 19 billion, the year before it was 26 billion, and 2009 was also quite a high figure. But this year there is a net inflow. Now if you take up to last Friday, it is 27,000 million rupees have come in. And this is zero cost funds, mind you. When the government borrows in the international market, debt market, and pays 6+% interest per annum, it costs money. But here is zero cost. This is coming without interest. Of course, they are expecting an appreciation of the stock and that benefit that they will get if it appreciates. And the dividends are low, there is nothing to, there's not even worth talking about it. So now we are getting zero cost funds. In dollar terms, it's about $205 million. So, we must encourage foreign investment because our savings are not sufficient to get the market going, and also with the high interest rates and other parameters not being right, we can't expect the locals to invest heavily in the stock market.
Right. Then it means all the stakeholders have a role to play in reviving the market. And are we there onto that?
We are not there, but if I was there, I would have seen to it certainly that all the stakeholders, somehow we have got them together because, Colombo capital market is one of, now there is no risk management system. It is one of the few markets in the world, I would say, operating without a risk management system. That the risks in dealing in Colombo market is very high. Now that is why that the finance NSB deal, there was no mechanism for us to manage it, and luckily we had a clause in the act and we used that to force a solution on it. But there's a thing called RMS, the risk management system. Then there's a thing called DVP, delivery versus payment. That when you deliver the ownership of the stock, then you get payment straight away. And then ultimately there will be CCP, central counterparty, and these systems have to be implemented, and these are not existing. So that my job was to get all these things done in a mighty rush, and we have fast-tracked all this, demutualization of the Colombo Stock Exchange, getting all the amendments through the SEC Act, and getting the risk management system in the Colombo stock market in place. And unfortunately, I am no more there, and I sincerely hope the staff will certainly support whoever comes, as long as he is prepared to do a honest, genuine job without giving in to pressure. Then the chairman can do it. Chairman or chairperson can do it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Karunaratne.
Thank you very much for this.